The movie I'm about to talk about today so far is the best movie of 2019. The twists and turns are highly unpredictable, and the end game, especially, you will not see coming. In this movie, its story is so good that even without the talents of Ian McKellen and Helen Mirren, it still would have worked with any decent actors. Now, if you believe that, I've got a bridge in London I'd like to sell you. Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to an all-new Talkin Movies. As always, I am your host, the real Geno Reynolds, and today we're going to be talking about a movie that I have really been looking forward to. We're going to be talking about The Good Liar, starring Ian McKellen and Helen Mirren, two of my very favorite actors. Now, I will warn you, near the end of this review, I am going to be talking about spoilers. I have to talk about the ending to this movie. But that being said, I will give you plenty of warning before I get there. The basic setup for this story is that Ian McKellen's character Roy is a con man, and him and his partner fool people into false investments, and then they get away with the money. Now, he starts a dating profile on a website, and so does Helen Mirren's character named Betty. And both of them end up on a date together. And Roy ends up saying, tells her the quote-unquote truth about his real name and everything, even though he's definitely playing her. But what you really have to find out is, first, is he really trying to date her, or is he looking for another mark? It becomes pretty obvious pretty quick. And the whole movie is about him trying to get her money. And she has a family member that's trying to investigate Roy. And it's about all of that, about him trying to, the family member, her grandson, trying to slow down this whole thing because he thinks something's fishy. But Helen Mirren's character is very lonely and is seeing a lot of positives in Ian McKellen's character. So there's some back and forth there between the family, and then how close Ian McKellen and Helen Mirren are getting quickly. And they also point out that, well, they're not getting any younger. So, okay, first things first. This movie, I liked it. I really did. That being said, it is highly predictable, and I will talk about why in the end of the review. But while the movie is predictable, the end game, anyway, the story they tell you is very... you even see in the trailer or anything, you're not going to see this coming, where it goes. Again, the end game is predictable. You kind of know what's going to happen in the end, but the journey is very unpredictable. There's some nice twists and turns, and some twists and turns that, again, you're not going to see coming. It's like, wow, they're going that far? So I like the story of this movie, and I don't want to say much more about it, because if I start telling you the plot points here, it'll ruin it for you. I don't want to ruin the story itself, even though when you start to watch this, you're going to know at least kind of what the end game is. Now, would this movie have worked with lesser talent? Maybe. There's some older actors that you probably could have put in the roles of Betty and Roy. That being said, Ian McKellen is amazing, and Helen Mirren is amazing, and the two of them together, I want to see more of it. I want to see them work together on other things. And I love these two in this movie. They're still two of my favorites, and they are by far the best part of this movie. And I think the strength of their acting really keeps you invested in this, because they have great chemistry together, and the way their relationship forms is interesting, and just everything that goes on between the two of them I really enjoyed, and both of them, of course, are amazing, so they're gonna keep your interest. Again, you could have put other people in these roles, but I would not have. I think the movie would have suffered if you didn't have two really strong leads in this. When it comes to just the way the movie looks and feels, it's based in 2009. So, technology isn't like really there yet. That actually probably plays to the advantage of the movie, because I think some things could have been figured out a little too easily had this been a modern movie. It's kind of like when you watch The Usual Suspects. Well, nowadays, they, instead of having to fax that picture over, you could have used your phone. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. I think some things, some questions would have been answered a little too easily had this been a modern movie. And really, I want to talk about the ending now. I recommend this movie. If you like thrillers, if you like Ian McKellen, you like Helen Mirren, you're going to like this movie. I wouldn't say you need to rush to the theaters to see it, but I don't think you'd be too disappointed if you did. So I recommend it, but then again, I'm a huge fan of the two of them, and so they probably get a few brownie points because of that. Because again, this movie's ending is very predictable. So I'm going to talk about that ending right now. I'm not going to talk about the story, the twists and turns as the movie goes, because I don't want to ruin that for anybody. But I do want to talk about the predictability of the ending. Okay, so here we go. It becomes really obvious really quick, though, again, you don't know the story that's about to happen. Ian McKellen's supposed to be the con man. You know pretty quick that Helen Mirren is taking him for a ride. And you know that she is going to be, she's going to be at least she's at least going to have something to pull on him at the end. Whether or not she wins, he wins, whatever. That is kind of left out in the open. That I'm not going to say it. You do get a definite winner, but the end game is, she's playing him too, because her character, she falls for him a little too quickly. And again, they kind of play off this whole she's lonely, her husband's been dead for a year, and she's not getting any younger, she says. She wants to be with somebody. And then plus she kind of sees Ian McKellen's character. She acts like romance could happen, but she's not ready yet. So you could see her character feeling like this. That being said, I knew she was going to pull something on him, and oh boy, does she. Again, I can't tell you everything because it'll ruin the entire story of what happens. And again, the story is pretty, I wouldn't say it's crazy, but it was more than I thought it was going to be. The whole story they tell, I'm like, wow, they went that far. So I knew she was going to pull something at the end. The ending, though, I would have liked to have seen another twist. I think it would have really helped this movie if there was another twist at the end. Because the way it ends, it's pretty, they do try to kind of, something's going to happen at the end, and then it's like, no, everything's okay. I would have loved to have seen, Ian McKellen's character, kind of have a different ending. I'll just say that. That being said, with who he is, altogether, when you finally figure out everything about him, the ending's a little fitting. But I think for a nice twist, it would have been better to have just a little bit more with this character. I would have loved to have seen him do one more thing. And again, I won't say what it is because I don't want to spoil the complete ending. But I think they needed to do just a little bit more, and I probably would have loved this movie even more. So yeah, the ending's predictable, even though this movie's more about the ride. And though the ending is predictable, I was satisfied with it because I enjoyed the ride. And really, that's all I got to say about The Good Liar. I really enjoyed this movie. I don't know if it'll be like my favorite movie of the year, but it's definitely a really good one, and it's got two actors that I love in it, and that helps as well. So I highly recommend it. That's going to be all for this edition of Talkin Movies. If you like what you've heard here, please subscribe to the Real Geno YouTube channel, like this video. If you have anything to say about The Good Liar, please feel free to leave a comment in the section below. Till next time, I'm your host, the Real Geno, Geno Reynolds. See you later.